Hi everyone, welcome back to mathematics session. So today we are going to learn a very interesting branch of mathematics, that is a new chapter. So can you guess? Yeah, it is trigonometry. So till now you never know what is this concept, that is trigonometry. This is another branch of mathematics where we use, there are many applications of trigonometry. So in this session you are going to learn, so what is the meaning of trigonometry, why the new branch of trigonometry exists, and what are the applications of trigonometry in real life, and also some basic concepts. Means to do problems with trigonometry we need some mathematical techniques. So that also you are going to learn in this session. So before I explain the exact topic trigonometry, so trigonometry is also deals with the right angle triangle. So before I start exactly the topic, let me explain what is a right angle triangle and what is a Pythagoras formula. So both actually the right angle triangle applications, that is Pythagoras formula applications, and the trigonometry applications are almost same. But why, even though we have Pythagoras formula, so why another branch of mathematics, that is trigonometry, is introduced? So that you are going to learn very interesting concept. Why, even though we have the formula, both the uses are same, but why we need trigonometry even though we have the Pythagoras formula? So to understand that, first let me explain what is Pythagoras formula and some applications where we are using exactly the Pythagoras formula. So here I have drawn the triangle ABC. Here angle B is 90 degree. So there are three sides. You can see the three sides of a triangle. You have to name it. Always the side opposite to the angle, that is 90 degree. The side opposite to 90 degree is always called as hypotenuse. The side opposite to the 90 degree angle is called as hypotenuse. And you can see the line base, the line segment base BC is called as base. And this height, that is 90 degree perpendicular height, we call this also, we can write it as perpendicular or altitude. So now there is a relationship between these three sides, that is hypotenuse, base and perpendicular. That relationship is also called as Pythagoras formula, where he has introduced this formula. So here you can see the relationship: hypotenuse square equals to base square plus perpendicular square. So this you already learned in previous classes. When this relationship satisfies, then only we can tell that the lengths of the three sides satisfy. It forms a right angle triangle. So here hypotenuse is nothing but AC in other words, and base is BC, and the perpendicular is nothing but AB. So these alphabets are not fixed. How you are writing the naming the triangle, in that way it goes, but the basic thing where we have to remember always is the hypotenuse square equals to the base square plus perpendicular square. So this is a formula which is called as Pythagoras formula. So to understand in deeply why we need Pythagoras formula, so not only to check that given sides are forms a right angle triangle or not, exactly I'll explain with one example why exactly Pythagoras formula is used, where we apply the Pythagoras formula. So consider one example here. Here you can see AB is a building. It is a building, a tall building which is on the ground. So consider that BC is the ground and AB is the building and AC is the ladder. So I'll repeat. See, the building AB stands on the ground BC and you have taken a ladder here, so which stands like A to C. Now, if out of three sides, already you know the relationship between all the three sides. So out of these three sides, if I know any two sides, so carefully you listen. So this is exactly very close to trigonometry. That's why listen properly. So out of three sides, we know here two sides. Think that I know the length of the ladder. That is, the length of the ladder is 10 meter. So I know the length of the ladder 10 meter, and the foot of the building to the foot of the ladder, that is distance between the foot of the building to the foot of the ladder, that is called ground. So let us think that it is 6 meter. Now out of 3 I know the length of the ladder and the length of the ground. So can I find the height of the building now? So because it's a very big building, so I can't measure with the tape or anything. So in this way, the Pythagoras formula is applied to find the distances or heights in a right angle triangle. Now let me find the height of the building using Pythagoras formula. So if this, you can see here, the building is always at perpendicular to the ground. So that is always, whenever you stand also, I am always perpendicular to the ground. So when stand horizontally. So here, sorry, vertically. So here the building is vertical to ground. So exactly you can see that it is 90 degrees formed here. So it is a right angled triangle. So when angle B is 90 degree, you can see the ladder, it becomes an hypotenuse. The ground becomes a base and the building becomes a perpendicular. So apply Pythagoras. AC square equal to AB square plus BC square. So here you have to learn direct because I want now AB. So AB is nothing but what? AB becomes square root of AC square minus BC square. So now substitute AC is 10, that is 10 square, minus BC is 6 square. 100 minus 36 is 64. So what is square root of 64? 8 meters. So I got the length of AB as 8 meters. So with this I can conclude that the height of the building, so with the help of these two sides, that is the ladder length and the ground length, I could find the height of the building, which we got as 8 meter. So in this way, we can apply not only to check whether it is a right angle triangle or not with the help of Pythagoras formula, we can also use to solve many more live examples like applications on this Pythagoras formula to find the height and distances whenever you can see a right angled triangle. Now let us consider another example. So till now I explained you what is Pythagoras formula and where we apply exactly Pythagoras formula. So in a right angle triangle, if I know any two sides, I can find the third side. Then in this, now let us take another two situations where exactly a live situations. So where if I don't know out of three sides, if I don't know any two sides. So if this is a situation, so I'll explain you. Here take this as a building here. This is a building and this is the ground and this is a ladder. So as we took before example, we took a ladder length as 10 meter and we took here as 6 meter and we could find the height of the building using Pythagoras formula. Now in this situation, I know only the length of the ladder, that is 10 meter, and I know only this angle C as 60 degree. So now in this case, I don't know neither I don't know the height of the building nor I don't know the length of the ground. So how to find in this situation, how to find the height of the building? So can I find using Pythagoras formula? So no, it is impossible. Why? Because in Pythagoras formula, you have three variables. That is, one is hypotenuse, base and perpendicular. So with this three relationship, we have formula. So out of three, if I know any two, then only I can find the third side. But here what happened? I know only one side, that is hypotenuse. The length of the ladder I know 10 meter and one angle I know, that is 60 degree, which you know it is acute angle. And one more thing here you can see, when ABC is a right angled triangle, this you have to understand clearly. When one angle is 90 degree, what about the other two angles? That is angle A and angle C. What type of angles they will be? So yeah, they will be acute angles. These two angles will be acute. So what is meaning of acute? So acute angle means it should be greater than 0 degree and less than 90 degree. So when an angle is between 0 and 90 degree, we call those angles are acute angles. So here, when in right angle triangle, when one angle is 90 degree, automatically the other two angles will become acute angles because sum of all the three angles is always 180 degree. So keep in mind that when one angle is 90 degree, the other two angles will be compulsory, they will be acute angles. So here, one acute angle, I know the angle between the ladder and the ground is 60 degree and the ladder length is 10 meter. Then tell me how to find a height of the building. So can I use here Pythagoras formula? No, it is impossible. So another situation, let me take here. Say here boy is standing on the ground. Think this is a ground level. A boy is standing on the ground and he is watching a minar, that is the top of the minar. Think any minar, Qutub Minar, anything. So from here he is watching, that is he is just targeting or is watching the top of the minar. And you can see the line from his eyes to the base of the minar. So this I have taken as another which is parallel to ground. So you can imagine here a right angle triangle. So if you draw here dotted lines, you can see this forms a 90 degree and the line between the eye and the top of the minar forms an hypotenuse and this line forms a base. So you can imagine a right angle triangle. So in this case, if I know the length, distance between the eye, that is the eye of an observer from to the base of the minar. If I know, think that if I know 100 meter, it is 100 meter. And if I know the angle between, this we call as line of sight. So I'll explain you in the next chapter. This we call as line of sight because you are observing from here. And this is called horizontal line. And the angle between these two lines, if you know, it is 30 degree. As I said already, if one angle is 90, the other two becomes acute. So if I know this is 30, I know only one side, that is 100 meter. Now tell me, can I find the height of the minar in this case? Can I use Pythagoras formula to find height of the minar? No. So in the two situations, you can observe that I don't know out of three sides, I should know two sides. But here I know only one side and one angle. This is compulsory. If I know one side and one angle, can I use the Pythagoras? No, it is not possible. So because of this, so to solve these type of situations, so the new branch of mathematics is introduced that is called as trigonometry. So to solve all these where we know only one side and one acute angle, we need some techniques, that is mathematical techniques, which comes under branch of mathematics, that is new branch of mathematics called trigonometry. Now let me explain what is the exact meaning of trigonometry. The spelling is Trigonometry. So this, when we divide into three parts, trigonometry. So you can see that the trigonometry word is divided into three parts, trigonometry. So what is meaning of tri? Tri means three. Gono means sides. So this is a Greek word. Trigonometry is a Greek word. So what is the meaning exactly? Meaning of this is tri means three, gono means sides and metry means measure. So it is nothing but three-sided measure. So that is trigonometry is a branch of mathematics which deals with the sides and angles of a triangle. Now let us move to the another concept, that is trigonometric ratios. So what are trigonometric ratios? Already said you, to solve the technique, that is when one side and one acute angle, if we know in a right angle triangle, to find any other side. So we cannot use Pythagoras formula. So we need some techniques where we have a relationship between angle and the sides. So the trigonometric are nothing but this is a relationship between an angle and the sides in a right angle triangle. So there are 6 trigonometric ratios. They are sine, cos, tan, cosec, sec and cot. So you may feel they are little different and new words for you. So don't be afraid of this. This is very simple. They are nothing but just the representation of the ratios of in a triangle. So that is, so now let us learn one by one. The first ratio. Before I start the ratios, let me explain the 3 parts here. So here in Pythagoras formula, we took angle opposite side as hypotenuse and this as base and this as perpendicular. But in trigonometric ratios, there are small changes because I already said you, when one angle is 90 degree, the other 2 angles will become acute angles. So remember always, whenever we are finding trigonometric ratios, we are finding the ratios with respect to an acute angle. So here I have 2 acute angles. One is angle A and the another is angle C. So with respect to acute angle, so we have to fix the sides. So now this is always, even though in Pythagoras formula or in this case, this remains as hypotenuse itself. That is, the side opposite to the 90 degree is always hypotenuse. Now the other 2 sides where we have taken as base and perpendicular. So these two names are a little bit changed with respect to acute angles. We are writing this. Now here I am considering angle A as acute angle. So if you consider C as acute angle, let me explain that. So here if I consider A as acute angle A opposite side. What is opposite side to the angle A? Just concentrate here. The side opposite to the angle A. Why not angle C? Because I am writing the ratios with respect to A. If you are writing with ratios with respect to C, so this will change. So here I am taking A as acute angle. So the side opposite to the acute angle we write as side opposite to angle. So this, the main word is this, opposite. That is side opposite to angle A is nothing but BC. Side opposite to angle A is nothing but BC. And the side which is adjacent to this angle, which is the side adjacent, BA. So you can see BA is the adjacent. This is the main word here. The side adjacent to angle A. So what are the three words we name for these three sides here? One is hypotenuse. One is hypotenuse, which we shortcut we write as HYP. And another is opposite. We write it as OPP. So in short we write OPP. And another is adjacent. We write as ADJ. So these are the abbreviations where we use for opposite, adjacent and hypotenuse. So I'll repeat. So the angle, the side opposite to the which you have taken acute angle is nothing but opposite. And the side adjacent to this angle we call it as ADJ, that is adjacent. And the side opposite to the 90 degree is called as hypotenuse. Suppose you may ask, if I take angle C as acute angle, what happens? Just observe. Suppose if I have taken, instead of A, if I take C as acute angle, that time this remains as it is. The hypotenuse never change whether you take A as acute angle or you take C as acute angle. Now if I take C as acute angle, what is opposite to C? What is the side opposite to C? Yes, BA. So this becomes opposite. And adjacent, what is the side adjacent to C? This becomes adjacent. So BC is adjacent, BA is opposite. If you take A as acute, this becomes adjacent and this becomes the opposite. So these both will interchange according to what angle you have taken as acute. Now I am talking about the ratios with respect to A. So now I am writing at all the 6 trigonometric ratios with respect to angle A. So concentrate. You can see that this is hypotenuse. So because A is acute angle, this becomes adjacent and this becomes opposite always. Now first ratio, first trigonometric ratio. What is this? Sine of angle A. So this SINE will pronounce as sine of angle A. Instead of writing E, we'll just skip this and we'll write in short SIN, but we'll pronounce it as sine. Sine A. And even we remove the symbol, angle symbol also not necessary to write. It is understood, it is sine A. So what is sine A? Sine A is equal to side opposite to angle A divided by hypotenuse. Always this is fixed. It's like basic techniques to learn trigonometry. Very basic. This, without this you cannot do any concept of trigonometry. So this is a basic concept for trigonometry. So sine of angle A equal to sine A, in other words, equal to side opposite to angle A divided by hypotenuse. So I already said in short. So in abbreviation, how will you write? OPP, opposite divided by hypotenuse. The first trigonometric ratios is what? Sine of angle A, that is can be written as sine A. Sine A equal to opposite by hypotenuse. Next trigonometric ratios is nothing but cosine. Cosine of angle A. What is spelling? COSINE. Cosine of angle A. But in short, we write COSA. How will you pronounce this? We'll pronounce, instead of pronouncing cosine, we'll pronounce it as cos A. So this is sine A and this is cos A. So what is the relationship here? Cos A equal to side adjacent to angle A divided by hypotenuse. You can observe this, in short you can write as adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Just observe these two. Again, sine of angle A can be written as sine A. That is, only this you have to remember, the end things. You have to remember only the abbreviations. Sine A equal to opposite by hypotenuse. Cos A, that is nothing but cosine. Cosine, we won't pronounce it as cosine, but we pronounce it as cos. Cos A can be written as adjacent by hypotenuse. Observations is very important here. You can see the denominator is same for both. The denominator hypotenuse, here also the denominator is hypotenuse. The only thing, the numerator changes. For sine it is opposite and for cos it is adjacent. So sine A is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse and cos A is nothing but adjacent by hypotenuse. You can observe these two. Now we learn two trigonometric ratios. Now next two trigonometric ratios I am going to explain. The next trigonometric ratio is, that is third trigonometric ratio, tangent of an angle A. So what is tangent of an angle? Instead of writing tangent, we can write tan A. So it is the full form of tan A is tangent of angle A. So instead of writing full, we can write tan A. That is, pronunciation is tan A. So what is tan A? What is the relationship? Tan A can be written as opposite divided by adjacent. The first trigonometric ratio what I explained you, sine A. Sine A is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse. Cos A, second trigonometric ratios I explained, that is cosine. Cosine can be written as cos. So that is, let me write here, first trigonometric ratio I explained as sine A, that is opposite by hypotenuse. The second trigonometric ratio is cos A, that is cosine A, adjacent by hypotenuse. You can observe, when I divide sine and cos, the denominator hypotenuse gets cancelled. So when hypotenuse gets cancelled, you get opposite by adjacent. So we got here opposite by adjacent. Tan A is nothing but the division of sine by cos. So that later I will explain. So what is the relationship between tan, sine and cos? So tan A equals to opposite by adjacent. Next, fourth trigonometric ratio, that is cosecant. The pronunciation is cosecant of angle A. The full form is cosecant of angle A. But how will you pronounce this? Cosec. This, instead of writing cosecant, we will write cosec A. So what is cosec A? Hypotenuse by opposite. Once you can observe sine. Observe this sign. Sine A can be written as opposite by hypotenuse. So when you observe, you can see reverse of this. That is nothing but, what is reverse? Reciprocal. P by Q can be written as nothing. What is the reciprocal of P by Q? Q by P. So when we get reverse, that is nothing but reciprocal. So when you reverse sine A, we get cosec A. That is, sine A is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse. So cosec A is nothing but reverse of sine, that is hypotenuse by opposite. The next trigonometric ratio is secant. Secant of angle A. Secant, instead of telling the full form secant, we tell short sec. Sec A. Secant of angle A can also be read as sec A. So this is nothing but sec A equals to hypotenuse by adjacent. So once look at this cos A here. So you can see cos A equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. Then what is secant A here? Just you can see the reverse reciprocal of this is nothing but sec A. So secant A equals to hypotenuse by adjacent. Don't get confused, very simple. If you know the first three, that is sine of angle A, cosine of angle A and tangent of an angle A. That is sine A equal to opposite by hypotenuse, cos A equal to adjacent by hypotenuse and tan A equal to opposite by adjacent. If you know the first three trigonometric ratios, the other three you can write very easily because they are reciprocals. So now what is link between? That is cosec is a reciprocal of sine. So cosec is a reciprocal of sine. Secant, that is sec, is a reciprocal of cos. That is cos can be written as adjacent by hypotenuse. Sec can be written as reverse of cos, that is hypotenuse by adjacent. Similarly, next last trigonometric ratios, cotangent. Cotangent of angle A can also be read as, that is in short we write as cot A. Cotangent can be written as cot A. So cot A equal to adjacent by opposite. Just look at the tangent. What I written here, tangent, opposite by adjacent. Just reverse, you can see adjacent by opposite. It is a reverse of tangent. So now I think everyone understood all the 6 trigonometric ratios and what is the relationship among themselves. So you can see here the sine and cosec are related to each other, that is they are reciprocals to each other. Why? Because sine is opposite by hypotenuse, cosec is hypotenuse by opposite. So these are reverse to each other. That's why we call it as sine is a reciprocal of cosec and cosec is a reciprocal of sine. So these two are linked to each other. What are they? Sine and cosec. Cosec, you just remember the short abbreviations only, these only, the full forms once you read and just think. Next, this only the important, tan. Instead of, we never call it as tangent, cosecant, secant, cotangent. We call them as abbreviations only, cosec. So like this only we pronounce. So sine and cosec are reciprocals to each other. Next, secant and cosec, cos are reciprocal to each other because cos A is adjacent by hypotenuse, sec A is hypotenuse by adjacent. Sec and cos are reciprocal to each other. Next, tan. Tan is opposite by adjacent and cot is adjacent by opposite. So tan and cot are reciprocals to each other. So these 6 trigonometric ratios are very important, which you have to by heart and remember always. Throughout the chapter we need this 6 trigonometric ratios. Now let us learn 6 trigonometric ratios. Among them, what are the relationship between them? So here, as I already explained you the all 6 trigonometric ratios. Now already I explained you what is the meaning of reciprocal. So here you can see as sine A equals to, we know, opposite by hypotenuse, and what is cosec A? Cosec A is nothing but the reverse, hypotenuse by opposite. So whenever I ask you what is the reciprocal of x, what is the reciprocal of x? X nothing but x by 1. The reciprocal of x is 1 by x. So similarly here, as you know, sine is equal to opposite by hypotenuse, cosec equal to hypotenuse by opposite. So both are linked with each other with a reciprocal because they are reciprocal to each other. So I can write them as sine A can be written as 1 by cosec A. That is, sine is a reciprocal of cosec. So or another word you can write, cosec is also reciprocal of sine. That is, cosec equal to 1 by sine A. So these two are the relationship, that is relationship between sine and cosec. You have to remember. And the second concept, that is second relationship is cos and sec. Both are related to each other. How? So cos, what is cos ratio? Cos can be written as adjacent by hypotenuse. So what is sec? Sec can be written as hypotenuse by adjacent. So we can tell them the cos and sec are reciprocal to each other. Therefore, cos A equal to 1 by sec A or sec A equal to 1 by cos A. Next two relationship among 6 ratios are tan and cot. So as you know, tan is what? Tan is opposite by adjacent. Cot is adjacent by opposite. So tan and cot are related, that is reciprocals to each other. So tan A equals to 1 by cot A or cot A equals to 1 by tan A. The 6 trigonometric ratios, the first 3 are very important. The first one is sine, second is cosine, third one is tangent. So sine of angle A, that is sine A equal to opposite by hypotenuse, cos A equal to adjacent by hypotenuse, and the third one tan A equal to opposite by adjacent. So these three, if you remember, the next three you can automatically write because what, by seeing the relationship, because sine is related to cosec and cos is related to sec and tan is related to cot. So with this we can remember very easily all the 6 trigonometric ratios. Now the other two main key points here I am going to explain. So what is tan A? Tan A equal to opposite by adjacent. As you know, tan A equal to opposite by adjacent. Now when you divide sine by cos, what happens? Let me see here. Sine A, you know, sine A equal to opposite by hypotenuse divided, whole divided by cos A is nothing but adjacent by hypotenuse. When you reciprocate the denominator, hypotenuse gets cancelled. What is remaining? Opposite by adjacent. So with this, what you can conclude? We can conclude that tan A and sin A by cos A means when I divide sine by cos, what I am going to get? Tan. So that is, we get the relationship tan A equal to sin A by cos A. So this is one more relationship, that is relationship between sine, cos and tan. That is tan equal to ratio of sine and cos, that is sine by cos. Next, you know that cot is a reciprocal of tan. Just now you learned cot is a reciprocal of tan. So as usual, as I explained here, you can check it out. Cot A is nothing but the reverse of the reciprocal of this. What is reciprocal? Cos A by sin A. So tan A equal to sin A by cos A, and cot A is nothing but cos A by sin A, because cot is a reciprocal of tan. So these are the three reciprocals relationship between any two trigonometric ratios. This is relationship between sine and cosec, relationship between cos and sec, and here third one is tan and cot. And these two key points where we have the relationship between your tan, sine and cos, and here cot, cos and sine. So with this I end up my session. So here in this session I explained many more things. First I introduced the new topic, that is trigonometry, and I also explained what is where we use exactly trigonometry, why actually it is introduced, even though we had a Pythagoras formula to find the heights and distances in a right angle triangle, then why we need trigonometry? Because when one angle and one side of right angle triangle we know, we cannot find other side using right angle, that is Pythagoras formula. So because of that, we underwent another branch of mathematics, that is called trigonometry. So we also learned where we apply. So here applications I didn't tell you now. There are many more applications which you are going to learn in another chapter, that is application of trigonometry. We have a very interesting chapter where we learn all the live examples. So in general, to say, before the astronomers used this topic where whenever they want to find the distance between any star or a planet from the earth, between the earth and a star, or between earth or any planet, they use the concept trigonometry. In many other fields we use navy, in many more situations we use the concept of trigonometry, that we are going to learn in the next topic. So with this, I hope everyone understood the concept, the basic concepts where we apply and why we use the trigonometry. In the coming exercise, we need this basic trigonometric ratios to solve the coming exercise. Thank you.